Hello, this is Malorian and this is the Orc Tactical Team, and we're going to continue this little series here about how Orcs can take on the most powerful builds. And because somebody asked for us to get to this one right away, we're going to be talking about Warriors of Chaos. And unfortunately I was hoping to leave this one for a while because really that is a hard matchup for the Orcs to take on. So when you're talking about the best builds for Warriors of Chaos, usually what you're going to see is, first of all, the best infantry in the game. You're going to see marauders with great weapons and usually the market corn, and these guys just pack a wallop of a hurt, and you have to be very careful. And the thing is that they're not very expensive either point wise, so I mean they can have a lot of them. You could easily be seeing 4 hordes of these things, and that doesn't even really cut much into his points. He still has room for all of his great characters and everything. You're also probably going to see, probably Tzinch's Lord somewhere. A lot of times it's on the disc with a 3+ ward flying around, and then maybe some hell cannons and stuff mixed in there too, and maybe some combat characters just for some punch. And when you're looking at this, if you compare any of your infantry units, the Orc infantry units, to theirs, point for point, it's not going to work out. So we're going to have to try and find something more than just Math Hammer to try and break this block. And the first thing you have to kind of realize is, alright, usually with Orcs, we're looking a lot at combat. But now we're up against a force that's actually better than us in combat. So we have to kind of fall back to some of our other abilities. Because the nice thing about Orcs is that we're not just combat. There's a lot more other facets there that we can fall back onto. So the number one thing, of course, is going to be shooting. So I don't know about spear chuckers so much. It really just going to depend if they take, a lot of, good Warriors of Chaos unit or Knights, but they probably aren't going to have it. But the one thing that you could get out of chuckers is that one flying around disc guy. So, he's going to have that 3+ ward, so it's going to be hard to get past that. But of course, whenever he fails that, which is 1 in 3 times, well, then all of a sudden you're going to do a world of hurt on him. Wound on a 2+, he's not going to get an armor save, and then D3 wounds. So, a small battery of these could shoot this guy down. And if nothing else, it's going to force him to prioritize these bolt throwers rather than the rest of your army. So that might be a good thing to deal with that magic there. And as well, of course, you want your usual things to shut him down and take the Spirit Totem and Staff of Sneaky Stealing. Just the main things you want to do is make sure you're shutting down things like Gateway and stuff like that, and really just the whole series of dangerous magic he could be casting with this level 4 Tzinch's Lord. So the next thing we have to deal with is how we're going to deal with all these troops, right? All these really killer ones where if you just match up, even if you match up your Black Orcs, you might do a real bunch of damage on them. But the problem is that they're so much cheaper than you. If you beat one block with one, sure, you're ahead of points, but all of a sudden now you're decimated and the next one's going to beat you and he's way up on points. So what you're going to have to really do here is make sure to concentrate. And of course, my favorite thing to fall back to is going to be the Night Goblins with nets. We're going to reduce our frontage, so only so much of that horde is going to be fighting. And the nice thing with what we're going to be going on here is just making sure to reduce the amount of damage he can do, and if nothing else, maybe just tying him up. So you want to hit him with that big block of Night Goblins, take away the Steadfast, and then we just got to find a way to beat him for one turn. And what that's probably going to mean is chariots. Throw up those Night Goblins, get charged, you're going to be losing a bunch of guys, you'll hold, and then next turn you can smash them with the chariots. And remember when we talked about the Lizardmen, where you just have to kind of pick that one turn to shut down their magic and defeat the Temple Guard? Well, you're almost having to do this thing here with each one of the blocks, is just pick one turn to go in and smash that block, and then go into the next. Because if it doesn't happen that turn, then you're in a lot of trouble. And the nice thing you're actually going to see here is that for him, he's going to be taking up a lot of space. His Marauders are on 25 mil rather than 20 mil of your Night Goblins. Your Night Goblins are going for ranks. He's going for Horde, or usually that's what he's going to be doing. And that means he's going to be really spaced out. And by being really spaced out, that means you can concentrate on a part of his army. And so again, usual tactics, you might have some Night Goblins going one way to stall anything that comes this way, while really your real punch is all going up here to just try and break. If you just destroy a couple of blocks and then you just tie everything up for the rest of the game, then that's a win. So again, look at it as how I'm going to win the game. Now am I going to wipe out his entire force? The next thing we want to try and key in on with the Warriors of Chaos is the one small disadvantage that they do have. So their characters are really killing and really great, but the one nice thing for us that we can use against them is that they have to issue challenges. So when they come in to fight us, make sure you have your unit champs so that you can just lose one model instead of tons. Or the other way to go about it too is actually design something to reduce his effectiveness. So take a war boss or something that has the items that either are giving him more toughness or making it so your opponent is -2 to hit, and between those you should be making it so that, okay, you have to issue a challenge. I take it with this guy, and now you can pretty much shut him down. And one of the best killers I still love, and I love pushing, is just the Savage Orc War Boss, where you're -2 to hit, extra hand weapons, killing blow. So that means with all of his attacks and killing power, that hopefully, he shouldn't kill you. And then attacking back, you got a lot of attacks, and just hoping for that killing blow. And then bam, that's going to help you so much. Really though, overall, it's going to be very difficult. You're going to have to make sure just to concentrate, take out key points, tie up the rest. You just, like I said before, you can't think about it as taking on an army. It's about how to take on a portion of the army to win. You're almost attacking this Wood Elf style. And finally, the last thing I didn't talk about is these hell cannons. So to begin with, they're like Labas or stone throwers, where they're doing a big blast to you, so it's going to be hurting your hordes. But the worst thing, of course, is that it's going to be causing panic tests. So the way it's going to be is that normally in 8th, panic tests aren't that big because you have your BSB rerolls now. But you're just going to have to make sure that everything's lined up so that even if he hits, even though you're concentrating over here, that might mean that he's going to blast this unit and make it run. So you're going to make sure your general and BSB is somewhere here to keep them all in range. Because the last thing you want is, okay, I'm going to concentrate here, all of a sudden this side falls away and you're being flanked. That's the last thing you want. So be very careful with that. And as far as taking out the Hell Cannon, it almost is something you don't even want to really bother with, because I don't think it's really going to happen. I mean, if for some reason your war machines like your Spirit Chuckers have nothing else to deal with, they could start going after the Hell Cannon, doing some wounds. But again, if you don't do all the wounds, then what's the use, right? They almost kind of just wasted your time over the period of the game. So I'd almost just forget them. Let them do their little lobbing. And something you want to avoid is having them coming into combat to support, because that's where we're trying to really do, is trying to find a way to pick on single units and beat them. And if all of a sudden he starts thinking in his mind of how to support these combats and turn things around, well, that could make things fall apart really quickly. So that's the power build for them. It's going to have lots of Marauders with the Great Weapons Mark of Khorne. You're going to see that level 4 Sorceress and Hell Cannon, and then some combat characters that fill in. The way you're going to beat it is concentrate, try and shoot down that one Lord, make his priorities go to your cheap Spear Chuckas, and in the end, just do it Wood Elf style and just try and kill a couple of units and get the win that way. So thanks for watching, and next time we're going to take on Skaven. Bye.